Hello, and welcome to the Music Survival Guide, the independent musician's guide on how to survive in the music industry. My name's Phil, a mixing and mastering engineer with Vortis Sound Studios. Well, I hope you're doing well out there. If you're listening in the morning, or the evening, or even the night, I hope you're all safe and well, and I hope you're all healthy, because that's about as much as we can wish for at the moment, really, to be honest. So I've moved house, as you may know. I think I mentioned it on recent podcasts. It's a few weeks ago when I recorded those, actually. And I'm in my new mixing room, which is very exciting. It's a strange room, is it? It already sounds pretty good. It's going to need some treatment because every room does, but it's already all right. So I'm quite surprised and quite glad that it looks like it's not going to need too much to get it under control, which is great. You didn't need to know that, but there we are. That's the situation as it is. I have received a review for the podcast, which is from user Callum884. I'm assuming his name's Callum. It might even be Callum884, but that's an unusual name. So Callum says it's really insightful. He says he really enjoyed these episodes and thinks there's a lot of worth and relevance in the subjects covered. That's very kind of you, Callum884, or Callum. Very kind of you. If you want your review read out, then just submit your review wherever you listen to podcasts, and I will pick it up and I will read it out on the show. Huzzah and indeed hurrah. It's been a year, quite a year, but it's been a year since lockdown started in the UK, at least of the date I'm recording it. When it goes out, it'll be a few weeks later, but it's been a year. And I didn't really expect to have to make an episode like this, which is, I'm titling it imaginatively, a year on from lockdown, what now? Because Joe and myself did one called 7 months on from lockdown, what now? Which was just under half a year ago. Surprise, surprise. And we've just been stuck inside for a very long time, and it can feel quite endless. It can feel quite depressing, if I'm honest. But there are things that you can do. I think a great antidote for getting you down when you think about these kinds of things is positive action. And I'm here to tell you that positive action is something you can do and should do today. Now, don't get me wrong. If you regularly suffer from depression, then I'm not in any way suggesting that this is some kind of miracle cure. But if it's just kind of getting you down, if you're just kind of longing for gigs and things like this, then this list of ideas could help you. Now, I'm viewing this as like a buffet of ideas, and you can take and pick whatever you feel is appropriate, whatever you like, whatever you want to. But if you do some of these, I guarantee you will have a better time. You'll be better prepared for when things return back to normal, and you'll be ready for it. So, without any further ado, the first thing that I've got on this list is practice your craft. Practice your craft. So you're, say, a guitar player, or maybe a bass player or a drummer or something like that. How often do you try and learn new skills on that instrument? It can be really, really easy to get to a good point and then go, I don't really need to bother practicing anymore. Pick up your instrument and try and learn some new skills. It could be just a little thing to maybe improve your soloing, or give you just that little kind of trick that you can use in a breakdown of a song or in a little fill or something like that. It could be what your music needs. Just take that little step forward. So think about that. Really think about trying to put some time into bettering yourself as a musician. Have you tried picking up a new instrument? So it could be something serious. It doesn't have to be. You could pick up ukulele. I love a bit of ukulele. I'm not so good at it, but I can sort of play a few chords. Or if you're in, say, a blues band, have you tried picking up harmonica? That can really work wonders in that kind of music. So it will just allow you to kind of expand your musical horizons and really put something positive that you can do, something really helpful that you can develop yourself with. Secondly, and this is kind of linked, if you can, as a band, spend some time rehearsing, because that is going to stand you in much better stead for when gigs return. You'll be tighter, you'll be ready to play, you'll just know the songs like the back of your hand. That's great. However, if you can't do that, because you can't really do that in the UK at the moment, practice your parts anyway. Spend some time at home playing through songs if you've got recordings, no matter whether they're amazing studio recordings or they're just on a phone in the room that you're playing in. Go and practice the parts and make sure you know them inside out. It will do you so much good as a band if you've all spent time practicing your parts and working them out, developing them if they need it, and just honing them. Really spend time doing that. Cannot emphasize that enough. Practice your parts. Even if you're rehearsing, practice your parts anyway. Another thing you could try is setting up a little recording station for yourself at home, and it could be a place to demo music and write music or anything like that. It doesn't have to be a terrifically expensive thing. If you've got a good computer, a little audio interface, pair of headphones, and then if you're, say, playing guitar, you could go direct and use some amp sims and things like that. It's a great way of getting your ideas down. And if other band members are using the same DAW, then you can share your files with each other and you can write songs collaboratively. Now, that is going to be a very different technique to maybe what you'll be used to. It'll be very odd for you, probably at first, to try and write songs that way, kind of in isolation. However, it will force you, however, kind of subconsciously, to write your music in a different way, to put slightly different emphasis on things. And when you come back to gigging, you can have a new set of songs that maybe sound slightly different, hopefully the better, because you've not done them in a rehearsal room. Now, don't get me wrong, if your primary method of writing and the way you far prefer is a rehearsal room, that's great. This is just something productive that you can do now whilst the rehearsal room isn't an option. That's just worth considering, I think. Next, I've got on here book gigs. Simple as that. I did an episode about this the other week, and there's not much more to say, really. I think when gigs start again, everyone is going to be scrabbling to book as many gigs as they possibly can. With the unfortunate case that some venues have had to close, there are less venues to play. And everyone is going to want to gig as much as possible because there's been at least, a year out from gigging. So you're going to find yourself kind of left out in the cold if you're not ready for this. So book gigs ahead of time. Try booking gigs even when you don't necessarily know they're going to go ahead. They might be cancelled, but book them anyway. And then if they do go ahead, great. If not, you've cancelled them. And then that's fine. It's unfortunate, but that's fine. You will find yourself prepared and ready for when gigs start again. You'll have some in the books and you're ready to go and raring to go. That is a great thing to do and a great use of your time. If you don't know some local venues and you want to go find them, again, do some research. It's a great time to do that. Another thing you could try is creating a band plan for the next year or so. Now, a plan needs to be several things. It needs to be kind of really achievable goals. They need to be quite realistic goals. They need to be quite specific as well. So if you do set a goal that says, we'd like more followers on our social media, that's a bit wishy-washy. If you want to say, in the next year, we want an extra 1,000 followers on our Facebook, that's specific. That's something that you can look at the numbers and go, have we achieved this goal or not? It's a great thing to do. If you've never done this before, try it. And then in the next year, when you finish this plan, you can build on it. You can work out your next plan for the following year using what you've learned on this, using what you've learned that you can do and trying to build on it and do something bigger and better. That's really worth considering. Create a band plan for the next year. Now, obviously, there may be some things in there that are a bit in flux. So obviously, say you want to do a certain number of gigs, that might, be a bit of a malleable goal, but try creating it. Try see what your goals are for the band, and it will really inform your decisions and what you want to do as a group. The next thing you can do is record. So many studios at the moment are open. Not all are, unfortunately, but many of them are. And if you have the budget for it, go record. Because we're in lockdown, you can't do gigs. The way bands are going to find you is your recorded output. So spend some time recording. Create that recorded output. Now, I know Joe is at the moment, as the day I speak, he's put on Instagram that he's recording with Rivia. So studios are open and they're raring to go. If you haven't got the budget for that, then record at home. There's no shame in that. Home recordings can and do sound great. Spend that time recording, and then you've got a new release. Maybe you even hold it back for when you start gigging again, or maybe you release it in the meantime. But it's a worthy cause. It's a worthy thing to do. More recorded output is better for your band. It's more exposure. Try that. Try it. It's great. Next is a slightly left of field, unusual suggestion, which is try other creative pursuits for the next while. So gigging, for many, is a big kind of creative outlet. It feels good. You can spend time working and gigging and meeting people, and it's great. And it kind of scratches that creative itch for many people, that alongside writing. But that's just not a thing that you can do at the moment, which is sad. Don't get me wrong. But there are positive things you can do. So have you tried something else? Something temporary maybe, but something that can just scratch that creative itch. It'll help you to feel better, to be honest. So if you really like problem solving, try doing some puzzles, something like that. If you really enjoy, say, painting miniatures, then go ahead, do that. You just need that something that's going to scratch that creative itch until gigs and rehearsals can come back in a full way. Again, I'm not saying that you should never think about gigging again and it's give up on your dreams, give up on your hopes, nothing like that. It's just about keeping yourself kind of creatively fulfilled, doing things that really scratch that itch for you. So that's it for another episode of the Music Survivor Guide. Bit of a short one this week. If you enjoyed it, then please leave me a review wherever you listen to the podcast. As I say, I will read out reviews and you will be made famous. Sure, made famous by reading them out on a podcast. Anyway, I really appreciate every review, so please do it, and it satisfies the podcast gods. Anyway, please also share it with any friends and bandmates if you thought it was useful. If there's anything you feel is worthy to discuss with your bands, say you want to work out how you can record remotely and you want to start a discussion, share this podcast with them. It's a great place to start. I really appreciate all of you, so if you're interested, I've got a community on Facebook called the Music Survival Guide Community after the podcast. Surprise, surprise. Hop over there for chats about music and band life with other musicians and industry people and that sort. And I will see you next time.